Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready? Are you ready to get your fix? Are you ready to get your fix? With the Wicks here on this beautiful Thursday, December 16th, 2021, and welcome to the show, whether that be on Facebook or, on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It would be much appreciated. You don't have to. I mean, it's up to you guys, but it would be much appreciated like I just noted. But anyways, there's been a lot going on recently in the world of, the NFL, basically. COVID has completely taken over 100 plus cases now in the NFL. Yesterday when we talked, it was at 85. Okay, we talked about the Browns suffering a big hit, and they suffered an even bigger hit. So, we went through that whole list, that whole 17 or 18 people that they had out with COVID. But it was unfortunate. Baker Mayfield has COVID. He's not playing Saturday. So Case Keenum, it is his turn to shine. He gets to go under center and hopefully try to lead the Browns to a victory against the Las Vegas Raiders. And, well, guess what? Case Keenum has COVID as well. So quarterback Nick Mullins, former quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, I believe last year, had a couple games there, looked pretty solid. He's going to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns this weekend. But, man, with basically their whole team out with COVID, without, I guess, besides Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb. Lock those fuckers up because you're going to need them. It's going to help. It might help a little bit more. I just, with that many people out, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to win that game against the Raiders. So the Browns are suffering. Basically, every single team in the NFL is suffering from this. But again, we talked about it yesterday where, nobody is really showing symptoms. Everybody feels fine, vaxxed or unvaxxed. It really doesn't matter at this point because Omicron comes in with no symptoms. So, they had these they had the meetings yesterday with the whole COVID protocols, what we're going to change, what we're not going to change. And basically what's happening with this, the new protocols that are going to be taking place is that it's going to look a lot like that of last year, where everyone has to wear masks regardless of your vaccination status. Don't think that's going to really affect anything. But and then you got no in-person meetings. Basically, it's all virtual. It's on Zoom. You can only have you can't go out to clubs, bars, or parties or whatever. You can't do that. You can't go out with a group of 4+ people. When you travel to an opponent's city, you can't go out during the night. You have to have, it's a curfew basically, where you have to be at the hotel at a certain time. You can't leave, and if you leave, well, you're getting tested. You're probably not going to play that game because you violated COVID-19 protocols. It sucks that this has to happen, but I think it was bound to at some point. Just, a new variant after new variant after new variant. Things are just, it's going to happen. And what are you going to do? You really can't do anything about it. But they did kind of tweak the protocols a little bit, just basically going back to that of last year, like I just noted. But there are also some other pieces of information, like new international markets for home teams to kind of go out and do stuff there. We'll get to that in a bit as well. And then obviously, we got to talk about Thursday Night Football to end the show. So are you ready to get your fix? Well, you're probably thinking, if you're watching, why the hell hasn't he mentioned anything about Urban Meyer? Well, I wanted to save it, because guess what? Bam, 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 bam. See ya, sucker. Get out of town. I said it was going to happen. Well, I didn't say it was going to happen. I said he needs to get out of town. They need to fire him. Get him out of there, because this guy's a scumbag. Okay, he has an ego the size of fucking Mount fucking Everest or whatever. He doesn't give a shit what you think, what you don't think about him, because, it's Urban Meyer. He has, college rings?
and stuff like that in high school championships. And oh wait, there's one he's missing. Doesn't have a Super Bowl, and he'll never get a Super Bowl because the way he, goes about his business isn't the greatest thing in the world. Okay, let's just put it that way. That he ultimately failed at doing his job, and it's just the way he did it just did not work. And with this whole situation, you gotta kind of think about it in this way. College coaches who try to make their way into the NFL ultimately fucking suck. Like, they stink it up. It just does not work, and I think a lot of that has to do with the culture that you're trying to build in college. You are literally the king. When you're the head coach, you're the, you go out there and you do all these recruiting visits, try to land these 5-star prospects, try to do this, try to do that, and you're also building what you think the atmosphere, what you guys kind of go about, the culture. That's what you are trying to establish, your culture, what you think should be happening. And when you get to the NFL and you try to do that same thing, try to bring your culture and try to change, try to make the NFL different in a way that, how are you going to make it different, basically? And that's what Urban Meyer tried to do. And that's what a lot of other college coaches actually try to do as well. And this kind of reminds me of Chip Kelly. For those of you that don't know who Chip Kelly is, he was a college coach, I believe, at UCLA or something like that at one point, or Oregon. Then he came back. He came into the NFL to coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. John, very well if you're watching out there. But basically, Chip Kelly came in and said, I'm the head coach. We're going to do it my way, or you're going to hit the highway. All right, get the fuck out of town if you don't like what I'm doing, basically. And he took that Eagles team with Donovan McNabb, Jeremy Maclin, LaShawn McCoy. The list can literally go on and on. And he literally took that Eagles team that was really good and tore them apart. Said, you don't want to buy into what I'm trying to do here? Get out of here. All right, so it doesn't work. If you try to bring that college culture into the NFL, don't expect it to work right off the bat, because it's just not going to happen. This is the men's league. This ain't, this ain't college. I wanted to say the kids league, but you're not kids when you go to college. You're starting to figure yourself out a little bit more and stuff. But this is the men's league. Urban Meyer, right from the get-go, we've seen a lot of red flags. First, he signs or brings in Tim Tebow to possibly be the next, great tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Buys him a fucking house right next to him and says, hey, come on, you're going to make the team, don't worry about it. Timmy Tebow, you stunk it up in preseason and training camp. You got cut. And then after that, Urban Meyer decides to not only go to his chop house and do some finger guns or whatever it was, the case or whatever, but that same instance, he decided not to go home with his team, who, by the way, just got done losing to whoever the fuck it was. I think it was the Cincinnati Bengals. And he's like, you guys lost. You guys can go back to your house, kind of soak that one in a little bit and kind of think about it and then move on after you guys get off the plane. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay with the grandbabies. I'm going to go visit the chop house and do all that stuff. And then after that, he goes to the chop house. He has those, shoots the finger guns with this 20-some-year-old lady. He tries to come back and say, that really didn't happen. I didn't do too much. I went to go check out the grandbabies and chop house, and one thing led to another, and it really isn't all what it's said to be. Nothing really happened. Yeah, bullshit. Okay, you can't tell a group of grown men that. You can't lie to them, basically. It's the men's league. And then after that, he goes and he says, what are your guys' achievements? What have you done? Have you won a high school, championship? Have you won a college championship? Have you won a Super Bowl? I haven't, but that's what we're here for. We're here to win a Super Bowl. You guys got to buy in. This is my team. This is my organization. I'm going to change the whole outlook of the Jacksonville Jaguars' future. Sounds pretty good, I guess, for the most part. Okay, and then all of a sudden, Josh Lambo, former kicker for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, by the way, is ranked number 4, is ranked 4th in NFL history for the most, or for his accuracy percentage. That's how accurate Josh Lambo has been in his NFL career. Pretty fucking accurate if you're the fourth in NFL history. And old Urban Meyer says, walks over in practice, right, and just says, "Hey, dipshit," gives him a good old kick to the leg, and doesn't even call him by his name. Doesn't even call him, "Hey, Josh, make your kicks. Let's get a little bit better at this. Let's focus." I mean, he could have handled that he could have handled that situation way better, obviously. I mean, the whole time, him and Lambo even had a discussion. It was, "Hey, kicker. Hey, kicker. Hey, kicker." Like, my name's fucking Josh, dude. Like, they call me by my name. That's my name, Josh. Josh Lambo. How's it going? Let's try to buy into your culture. And it didn't work out. So after the reports came out about that incident with Urban Meyer kicking Josh Lambo in the leg, Shad Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, ultimately was forced. Not really forced. I mean, Urban Meyer really forced his hand to do this, but had to fire Urban Meyer. And this was a long time coming. There was no fucking way he was going to make it to next season, especially with all this stuff, especially if he wins the next couple games. There's just no way you're going to allow that to still be in your organization. And that kind of makes me think, like, with all these reports, all these instances that have come out, how involved has Shad Khan been? Because you'd think, like, oh, Josh Lambo got kicked at practice in his leg, and he's a kicker. He's going to need that fucking leg. Fourth most accurate kicker in NFL history. Does that incident get spoke to Shad Khan? Does Josh Lambo go and be like, "Hey, Shad, like, so today at practice this fucking happened. Hey, like, what are you going to do?" Basically, I don't think that conversation happened. It should have happened, and it's brutal because all these instances, or whatever you want. Fucking, I can't say that for some reason, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, I wonder if all of these scenarios kind of were brought up to Khan from players, and before all these reports were kind of coming up. Obviously, the Chop House is a whole different scenario. I mean, when you're at the Chop House, there's other people around with, the good old handy-dandy cell phone that everybody in the fucking world has, who's capable of taking a video at any point in time, at any point that they want, basically, right? So they did that, and that's on him, okay? He screwed up. He fucked up big time. But the fact that he lied to his team, called his team out, basically, telling them that they're a bunch of losers, basically, is kind of what the gist of the story, excuse me, John. And then you kick your player. I wonder if that wasn't the only player he did that to. I'm glad he's gone. He deserves to be gone. But let's go back to the scenario where I was talking. College coaches do not do well when they get an NFL coaching job. And this is a little graphic here. If you can't read it, sorry, I guess. But basically, this goes through since 2000. This is hired as a first-time NFL coach after after coaching in college, basically. So these guys all coached in college, went to the NFL, and these are their records since 2000. This list is way too big. I mean, there are defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, executives, all these people out there, running back coaches, wide receiver coaches, quarterback coaches that deserve a head coaching job. Shit, the Jacksonville Jaguars passed on Robert Saleh, Eric Bieniemy, Jim Caldwell. I mean, the list goes on, basically, for all these head coaching candidates that they actually could have had. But they went with old Urban Meyer and his ego to be their head coach. But look at this. Urban Meyer, 2-11. Matt Rule, 10-19. Cliff Kingsbury, he's still the coach of the Cardinals. But look at his record, 23-20-1. So he's doing pretty solid. Let me look at Bill O'Brien, 52-48. He got fired, spent all of the Texans' money, shipped DeAndre Hopkins out because they didn't have a good relationship, a.k.a. college culture. If it doesn't work out when you're in college and you don't, if you guys are butting heads with somebody on that college team, he ain't going to be playing for you anymore because you're going to get his ass out of town. Doesn't work in the NFL. That's why he got fired, 52-48. Chip Kelly, 26-21. Talked about him. Doug Maroney, 15-17. Greg Sachiano, or I don't know how to say that name. I probably butchered it, but 11-21. Jim Harbaugh is the only one that actually had success, and yet his ass is back in the college game because he realized college is where he's good at, where he can find gold and strike gold. 44-19-1, had the best record, and that's basically because he had Colin Kaepernick, made that Super Bowl run, and did all that stuff. Bobby Petrino, 3-10. Nick Saban, 15-17. He went to the Miami Dolphins, didn't work out. Went back to Alabama, has built a dynasty because he belongs in college. He belongs coaching college football, not in the NFL. It's different. Steve Spurrier, 12-20. Butch Davis, 24-35. Doesn't look good, folks. If you're a college coach, stay the hell in college. Please. Thank you. It does make for great storylines. I love it because, how is this guy actually going to do? Oh, he's dog shit. Okay. And then you got all these scenarios, these situations kind of working out. Fucking Urban Meyer kicking his kicker in the leg. It's literally just boom, mind-blowing, really, that he would do something like that. This guy is a scumbag. He has a big ego. He's a bully. Like everyone else has said, and his daughter went out and had all this tweet, and I get it. His daughter has a way different relationship with Urban Meyer because, that's his daughter, his daughter, than these players will. People that work for him or work under him, basically, would have a better relationship. He's a bully. And all she did was post a bunch of pictures of him hugging people and him having, looking real good. He's a bully. He has an ego. He's a scumbag. I'm glad he's out of town. Go back to college. Maybe you'll have success there, but I highly doubt it. Go get your job back at ESPN or Fox or whatever you can do to get back on TV because that is where you excel. Not with the Jacksonville Jaguars, not in the NFL. I'm pumped. Khan finally made the right decision and got rid of Urban Meyer, who had 13 losses, 13 losses on his record. So no, that can't be right. 12 losses, which was more. No, because he was 2-10 or 2-11. So he had more losses, 11 losses in the NFL in 1 year than he did his entire tenure, which I think was 7 years in Ohio State, where he only had 9 losses. Put that in perspective a little bit, huh? Urban Meyer officially out as the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach. About fucking time. So now let's get to this international marketing situation that has finally been announced. I did not know this was going to be a thing. I just thought, obviously we go and play in London, or the NFL goes and plays games in London. They played in Mexico City. They're going to be playing in Germany here in the upcoming year, I think 2023 or something like that. So the NFL's brand is really moving internationally. They're really kind of going out and trying to get, fan bases here and there and everywhere. But this year, and I think it was just earlier this week, maybe yesterday it came out, that teams had a chance and got a chance to establish certain places around the world as a home marketing area, basically, is what it is. So, Canada is one of the international markets, Mexico, Brazil, the United Kingdom, Germany, China, Spain, and Australia. So these places, certain teams get to go, and I'll announce all of them here in a second after I show you the graphic. They get to go out there and establish that place as kind of a home marketing area for them to kind of, boost their team or market their team in that certain place. So here we got it. We can look at this. You probably can't read it that well. I put it up and I kind of knew you might not be able to see it, but you can see right there all the highlighted areas are basically the places that teams can go and market it. Now they all have already been separated and split up, and certain teams have certain areas. So we're going to start right off the bat with Canada. Canada has 2 teams for their marketing place or marketing situation. And those 2 teams are the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks, so they can go up there and market their team as big and as much as they can. Obviously, with being border neighbors with Canada, that was a must. So those 2 Vikings and Seahawks are in Canada. The next one, we got Mexico. That one, all these teams, the Arizona Cardinals, the Dallas Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Houston Texans, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Los Angeles Rams, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the San Francisco 49ers all can have marketing areas in Mexico, can market their team as much as they want down there in Mexico. Now, I'm not really 100% sure, say, like, if the Minnesota Vikings were to go down and, like, kind of market their team a little bit down in Mexico. I'm not sure if that's illegal or, like, what the whole situation around that is. But basically, these are the main teams that get to market their team in that area. So, and then next we got the Brazil down there, a lonely team. Only one team gets to market down in Brazil, and that's the Miami Dolphins, obviously, with being a little bit closer than everybody else. That's where they get to go. Market their team. Then we got the United Kingdom. This was awesome. The Bears, the Jacksonville Jaguars, obviously, because, I mean, they're the only ones that play there on a regular basis, basically every single year. Then the Miami Dolphins, same kind of situation. They seem to always go over there and play a game or two sometimes. And then the Minnesota Vikings also have that. So the Vikings have Canada and the United Kingdom, just like the Dolphins have Brazil and the United Kingdom. And then the Jets, the New York Jets, and the San Francisco 49ers. And the San Francisco 49ers have Mexico and the United Kingdom to kind of go and market their team in those areas. Then we're looking at Germany, the Carolina Panthers, the Kansas City Chiefs, the New England Patriots, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So those are their areas of expertise where they can go and kind of market their team, if you will. And then we got China. Lone team, the Los Angeles Rams can go market over there. Then Spain, the Chicago Bears and the Miami Dolphins get that. So the Dolphins have 3 areas. That's weird. And then Australia has Los Angeles Rams. So not all teams around the NFL actually can go and market their teams around. So I'm assuming it wouldn't be illegal for, like, say the Minnesota Vikings to kind of, like, have some type of marketing area in, say Spain or say Brazil or Mexico or something like that. I'm not sure, but these are the main marketing areas, the home marketing areas for these guys, or for these teams to kind of go out and really build their franchise and make it that much better, that much more influential in those specific areas. So this is new. I'm not really sure how it's gonna go about and how they're gonna go about doing this. It'll be really interesting because another thing that kind of pops up in my mind with all of I shouldn't have switched that, but with all these areas that are kind of lit up there on your screen, it makes you wonder, like, are we potentially going to have games in every single one of these spots, these places? Like, are there stadiums available? Obviously, Brazil with being a huge soccer or football sport down there, I think they're going to have stadiums obviously ready to rock and roll. Canada, they have to have something in Toronto, I'd feel like, or Ontario, somewhere over there. China, they've held the Beijing Olympics before. Australia would be a very interesting place. I mean, out in the outback, where, the Kangaroo Jack is out there doing stuff. And China, maybe, like I just noted, Spain, Germany's going to have one. So it's going to be real interesting to see what the NFL kind of does going forward in this situation. And I think it's a good thing for the NFL to build the NFL, to make it a bigger, more profitable organization, even though they make billions and billions and billions of dollars. It's a good thing for the NFL to kind of build their organization to spread awareness about other teams and really focus, I guess, on those teams and stuff like that. So this is interesting. We'll see kind of where it goes from here. Not really sure what it's going to entail and all that, but hey, home marketing areas internationally now for the NFL. Not all teams are involved at this point. I'm assuming sometime down the line, all teams will eventually be involved. You just would have to assume that. So yeah, I thought that would be kind of interesting to bring up a little bit because football's changing. So that's a very interesting thing to kind of see there. So let's shift gears. I don't know why I said ship. To tonight's Thursday night football matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. This is going to be a fun game, folks. I mean, look. I mean, it's the Chiefs. It's the Chargers. The Chiefs are number 1 in their division. The Chargers have some ground to make up, and they really, really need to win this game. So here we have it. The money line is currently at plus 135 for the Chargers and minus 160 for the Chiefs. The Chiefs are currently 3-point favorites for this game, and the over-under there is 53.5 points. Could have changed by now. I got this graphic done basically fucking a couple hours ago, so I mean, definitely could have changed by now. But they are currently 3 points favorites in this game, in a game in which they're traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. And the Chiefs are 9-4. The Chargers are 8-5. Both teams looking to solidify their spot in the playoffs. And this is a big game for both of them, I'd say. The Chiefs kind of need to win, okay, to really solidify themselves as the division leader. And the Chargers really need to win this game to make sure they keep that playoff spot and potentially, be that division leader in which they are in the same division as the Kansas City Chiefs. So a huge win here would be phenomenal. Now the Chiefs apparently have won 12 straight games in December and January. So 12-0, and since like the 13th game, obviously. So they're doing really well in December and January, and they've never, ever lost a road AFC West game with Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback. Ever. Or under center. So, obviously he was there when Alex Smith was there and stuff. But when he's under center, when he's the starting quarterback, they don't lose. They've never lost a road AFC West game. So this is going to be a very interesting battle, a very tough fought battle. Keenan Allen, I believe, might be playing. I know he had COVID not too long ago, so I think he's in the mix. But it has also been reported that Derwin James is okay to go. He's going to be playing tonight, and as well as Austin Eckler. He's expected to play despite his ankle injury. He's a little bit banged up. It's not really an injury. It's just he tweaked it last game. They weren't for sure if he was going to need surgery or how severe it really was. But he's going to be playing tonight. And that's a big one. Because for the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm assuming this is why Austin Eckler is actually playing, the Kansas City Chiefs are without defensive tackle Chris Jones tonight. I'm not really 100% sure on why. I think it might be because he has COVID, just like the rest of the whole fucking NFL with 100 plus already in 3 days. Over 100 players have tested positive for COVID. So tonight's game is going to be a fun one. It's going to be a battle. I honestly do believe that Chiefs being the 3-point favorites in this game makes a lot of sense. I don't see it growing anymore. I don't see it shrinking anymore because this is honestly, I have a gut feeling it's going to go down right to the last second, right to the last field goal. Who's going to kick it? Who's going to make it? We'll see what happens tonight. Let's make our game pick real quick. For this game, I can't remember what Logan said for his game pick. Let's go see if he said anything. He did not. All right. So, John has the Chiefs winning this ball game tonight. This is a tough one. I'm gonna take Kansas City. I'm going to take Kansas City to win this game as well. Basically just because, as rocky as they have seemed, and they don't really seem all that, stellar of a team as of late. Basically just because I feel like their offense is really hit or miss at times. Their defense has really picked it up compared to that of the beginning of the season where they were dog shit. We were talking about it on the show. On multiple shows everywhere said, look, this Chiefs defense sucks. We need to figure something out. They figured it out. They have been playing really nice ball, and they just beat the dog shit out of the Las Vegas Raiders 48-9. So, we got to give the Chiefs a little bit of credit here for not only their defense allowing only 9 points, but their offense putting up 48 points. As much as their offense I feel like is hit or miss, I really feel like they're going to hit more often than they're going to miss. I believe that Travis Kelce, get going. He has to get going tonight. It's going to be a tough one for him going forward. I feel like a lot of teams, probably myself, kind of consider him their top receiver for that organization. So he's going to have a tough one. Tyreek Hill's probably going to have a tougher day. with how well the Chargers defense has kind of been playing. They're really hit or miss as well, but you know what's gonna be? I mean, it's the fucking Chargers. They're gonna win if Herbert has a good game and if Austin Eckler has a good game. But if they don't, if they're a subpar game, they're not gonna have a good. They're not gonna win. I just don't think so. So me and John both got the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can do that 12-2 record that we put up last week. What do you say, huh, John? That'd be fucking litty titties, huh? But what'd you say? Oh, well, okay. My pick is that Keenan Allen grabs 75 plus yards, 1+ touchdown. Yeah, I could see that. I could see Allen having a really, really big day there, Logan. That was a question from Logan Starkson there. We'll see, though. I think Mike Williams is a really big threat for that Los Angeles Chargers organization. I think they're a really a good team when he excels. I think if he goes on any other team, he'd be a number one receiver. But if Keenan Allen gets going, if Herbert gets going, like I said, the Chargers have a real possibility of winning this ball game. So that is all I have basically for, did not mean to do that, for you guys today. Go enjoy the rest of your evening. Watch this football game. And we will be back here tomorrow for Fantasy Football Friday. It might only be myself, but we're hoping John can make it as well. Logan cannot, being that he has the flu, I believe. So that sucks. T's and P's to him. Hopefully he gets better. I know he will. He's good. He's a fighter. He knows how to get through that stuff. So go enjoy the rest of your evening. Watch tonight's matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers, who the Chiefs are 3-point favorites. Hey, and you guys just got your fix with the Wicks. Have a great one, folks.